don't do this very long, because there's a price that you pay that is not worth it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. And that price is depression, deep depression, a severe brain imbalance that's going to lead you to addiction. It leads so many people to impulsive behavior.
Anything of that sort. That's a federal crime. And trust me, people would love to see Jake Paul end up in jail.
Paul had a very healthy fear for his life while he was in there, and he was moving as such. He was staying away from him. He was running away. He was trying to get distance. Then he was trying to step in to win this athletic contest, and then he's trying to get out of the way so that he doesn't get hurt again. I mean, he was fighting.
After suffering a broken jaw against Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul may be forced to reconsider his future in boxing. Joe Rogan reacted to the fight by pointing out that Jake has already accomplished a lot and made more than enough money. Rogan warned that continuing to compete at this level is extremely dangerous and could lead to permanent physical damage or long-term mental health issues. He emphasized that the risk is no longer worth it and suggested Jake should step away from the ring to protect his health and well-being. Rogan's comments underline the serious consequences of pushing past safe limits in combat sports.
Didn't have any effect.
Yeah.
Because he's, really, he weighed 216, but he's doesn't even have abs, right, at 216. He could easily weigh 190.
Yeah.
I'm sure he could make 190.
Yeah.
Anthony Joshua's gigantic.
So big.
He's so big. He's so much bigger. So, of course, like, his punch that he knocks Tyron Woodley out cold with, Joshua just eats it.
Yeah.
Because he's a giant.
Yeah.
He's a fucking giant man.
So big, dude.
He's so big.
I give Jake so much credit for stepping into that ring.
Bro, he got hit with a bomb,
Yeah.
a right-hand bomb.
When he got hit with that too, I don't know if enough has been made of the fact that, it was absolutely devastating. But the fact that he had awareness immediately to go like he looked at the crowd
he's
like, oh shit,
"Whoa."
like wow.
He goes,
It
"I got
wasn't like
cracked."
yeah.
I think he went into that fight knowing that was probably going to happen,
yeah.
and ultimately, the big win for him would be that he was even willing to do it, and that he could do well for a little bit.
For a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and then eventually just deal with the fact that Anthony Joshua is going to connect with a bomb,
Yeah.
and breaks his jaw in 2 places.
Yeah. And
He's fucked. His jaw's wired shut now. He lost teeth.
he made it to the 6th round.
Yeah.
Pretty wild.
Did they put your teeth back in when they pop out like that, or are they gone forever?
I don't know. But it's just wired shut for like 6 weeks now.
Yeah, you gotta eat.
Chael Sonnen strongly criticized Jake Paul's recent fight, saying matchups like this are far too dangerous and should not be happening. He explained that it felt less like a real boxing contest and more like a fight for survival. Throughout the bout, Jake was constantly on the move, focused mainly on avoiding serious damage. When he did step in to engage, he quickly pulled back to protect himself. At times, he even dropped to his knees or used clinching and grappling just to stay safe. Sonnen said Jake's performance was more about endurance and survival than boxing skill, comparing it to an animal trapped in a cage doing whatever it could to survive.
These guys fought. That was not a boxing match. It just wasn't. Jake Paul had a very healthy fear for his life while he was in there, and he was moving as such. He was staying away from him. He was running away. He was trying to get distance. Then he was trying to step in to win this athletic contest, and then he's trying to get out of the way so that he doesn't get hurt again. He was fighting. Then it turns to where he can't stay away anymore. So now he's got to go the other way. He's got to go forward. So now he's clinched him. Now he's dropping down to his knees. He's going below the waist. He's getting to double leg positions. He was fighting. These guys were Jake was fighting for his survival, and you could so see it. You could see this animal who's been caged and is just trying to make it through, not even kill its prey, just make it through. And it was incredible. It was really incredible. So on the back end, some of the comments that I made or that I had heard were so confusing to me.
Despite acknowledging Jake's determination and ability to handle pressure, Sonnen warned that fights like this come with serious physical and mental risks. He stressed that continuing in these kinds of matchups could lead to long-term damage. While Jake's courage and toughness were clear, Sonnen emphasized that a fighter's safety must always come first. Putting athletes in such dangerous situations, he argued, is irresponsible and could result in severe harm.
It breaks my heart, too, that Anthony Joshua can't get him out of there in one round. Dave Portnoy had made a comment before the fight. He said, I like Jake. I wish well for Jake. Of course I'm taking Joshua. And then Portnoy made his point. And he said, because I believe in boxing. This isn't if I'm cheering for Jake or if I think that Joshua is more experienced or better. I believe in I believe boxing's real. If boxing is an actual sport, if it is an actual sweet science, then of course a guy that's done it 11 times cannot compete with the Olympic.
Nikisa Badarian, co-founder of MVP, praised Jake Paul's courage and toughness after his brutal fight with Anthony Joshua. He said Jake showed real heart by continuing to fight despite being knocked down several times and suffering a broken jaw in 2 places. Badarian explained that Jake's performance wasn't just about surviving, noting that internal scoring had him winning the 4th round, which showed his growth as a boxer. He also made it clear there were no deals or agreements with Joshua, stressing that anything like that would be illegal and unethical. Despite criticism, Badarian believes Jake proved his bravery by standing in the ring with an elite heavyweight. He added that Jake remains motivated with unfinished business against Tommy Fury and a strong desire to keep proving himself. Overall, he emphasized that Jake is willing to face top-level competition and push through both physical and mental challenges to establish himself in professional boxing.
It was a moral victory because he expected to win. I do think he showed who he is as a fighter. I think he deployed the strategy that he was very clear about going into, that he was going to look to make AJ miss, and AJ missed a number of times. And ultimately, I think the weight of AJ caught up to Jake Paul. If you look at the first 3 rounds, AJ wasn't really able to touch him. But when AJ was in a clinch with him a couple of times, pushed down on the back of his neck, pushed down on the back of his head, got him to the ground. There was a few times where Jake looked like he was going for a takedown. Again, that was Jake trying to engage in the clinch, and AJ smartly moved back. In one instance, I think it was the 5th round, Jake engaged for a clinch, AJ moved back and started punching down on Jake's back. So all of those things kind of deteriorated or emptied Jake's gas tank a lot earlier than I think he expected it to. But overall, I thought he deployed his game plan well for the first 5 rounds and actually had some success. He even moved AJ back a few times, 1 by just jabbing in the air, and 2, when he caught him, he moved AJ back. AJ came right back in and swung.
Frank Warren praised Jake Paul for his bravery in fighting Anthony Joshua, saying it takes real courage to step into the ring for a high-stakes fight like that. He pointed out that Jake is a cruiserweight with limited experience, taking on a top-level heavyweight who is still among the best in the world. Despite the tough challenge, Warren noted that Jake landed some clean shots, including jabs and a close uppercut, and even felt Jake won the 4th round. He said people can criticize the fight, but the reality is it was a huge task, and Jake showed heart by taking it on. According to Warren, the fight delivered excitement and spectacle while proving Jake's toughness, determination, and willingness to face elite competition.
Somewhat anticlimactic. I mean, look, the KO was fantastic, but going 6 rounds, what did you make of it?
Just took longer than he took longer than he needed done. I mean, Jake showed a lot of courage, but the money they're getting, that's what you do. You got to show courage when you're getting paid that type of money, and he did. He was obviously, it was a massive ask of him. A cruiserweight who's only had 12 fights, and against sort of, not the greatest opposition, to be stepping up and fighting somebody of AJ's ilk, who's still a top 10 ranked heavyweight in the world. And he did, in my opinion, he caught him a couple of jabs, nearly caught him a good uppercut, and I thought the 4th round, I thought he nicked it. So what do I think of it? I thought, AJ got a few quid, good luck to him, God bless him and whatever, but come on. That's not all. Well, no one's running away with it, are they? We all know what it was. We're not, we're not stupid. We all know. You got eyeballs, and all these moaners are moaning. What did you go and buy it for? What was you expecting to see? It was what it was. It billed for what it was, and that was it. I mean, I didn't stay up to see it. I just put it on when I got up in the morning and watched it back on Netflix, and that's it. And I don't agree with all this stuff about it besmirches boxing. Whether it's not boxing, it wasn't sanctioned by any, as far as I understand, any of the governing bodies. It went on in Florida, and a bit like Texas, they let things go on that won't get on elsewhere.
On Jake Paul's performance as a whole, Eddie's come off the back of it and said, look, he's not a world beater. I thought he was an average cruiserweight. I'd say now he's probably a decent cruiserweight. You changed your thoughts on his level at all?
No, because look, he's a professional boxer. He trains as a professional boxer.
Timothy Bradley criticized Jake Paul's strategy in the fight, saying that running away was a poor choice against a dominant opponent. He stressed that when facing a strong fighter, you need to stand your ground early to show courage and earn respect. Bradley believes Jake's hesitation and avoidance from the start hurt his performance and prevented him from gaining the respect he needed in the ring. He added that many experts predicted this reaction, expecting Jake might evade rather than fight decisively. Bradley said that if he had been in Jake's corner, he would have urged him to embrace the challenge, focus on the massive payday, and demonstrate courage and dominance. For Bradley, standing firm is essential for any fighter's credibility.
It wasn't really a fight, to be honest with you. It was not a fight because Jake ran like a bitch. I said bitch, I didn't say real one. So, but I'm just saying he ran. And, I knew, and I was talking to different boxing pundits, around, and they were asking me, Tim, what would you do if you was in the same situation as Jake Paul? And this is before the fight. I talked to a lot of people outside, and I told them, I said, see, they gonna run, and that's the worst thing that they can do. When you facing a guy, bully, you got to stand up to the bully. You got to send a message early on. We talk about fighting for, dominance or, getting respect. See, that was the issue. Jake didn't get respect early on. If I was in this corner, I would have said, hey, man, look, we here. You getting paid $94 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, we here to fight, bruh. We're not here to survive. We're here to fight. But you got to go out here and you got to hit this man as hard as you possibly can in the first round. You got to step to him. You got to, almost like kamikaze style. You got to attack him, because if you put AJ on his back foot and you keep him defensive, AJ is not a great fighter off his back foot as he is when he's coming forward. And AJ is the type of guy that feeds off of guys that, respect him, one, or fear him. And AJ felt, because of the experience that he has, he felt like this dude fears me. You know what I mean? He's already on his bike.
Brendan Shaw criticized how Jake Paul's fight against Anthony Joshua was promoted, saying the hype was misleading and unrealistic. He argued that presenting the fight as a question of whether Jake could beat Joshua was absurd, since there was never a real chance of an upset. Shaw highlighted the huge skill and size gap between the fighters, explaining that even though some fans hoped for a puncher's chance, it was highly unlikely in a professional bout against an elite heavyweight. He noted that Jake's power, while impressive for his weight class, doesn't compare to the strength and ability of top heavyweights. Shaw suggested that marketing should have focused on whether Jake could survive the fight, endure the rounds, and avoid a knockout. By setting realistic expectations, fans could have appreciated Jake's effort without being misled by impossible narratives.
Come off that Anthony Joshua's not taking this real, and he's not putting his best performance forward. That's the issue. The issue is Anthony's like, how much you gonna pay me? It's on Netflix. Hold up. I can fight this guy who, when I was an amateur teenager, I fought better guys. And I have how much weight on him? I can fight him for how much money? Dude, I'll beat him in my sleep. Correct. And you should. And it's such a disservice to the sport of boxing and to the actual fans of boxing if Anthony Joshua doesn't go out there and absolutely dominate Jake Paul. If it goes to decision, if it goes past 6 rounds, Houston, we have a problem. Boxing, we have a problem. And now, people are going, where was this energy with Gervonta Davis? Different. You're talking about a very, very small guy. I've worked with Gervonta. He's fucking tiny. And size can overshadow a lot of that stuff. I still think Gervonta should still win that fight. And the body shots, if he's taking it seriously, that should have got the job done. But obviously he has his legal issues and that went out the window. But when you're talking about an actual world-class heavyweight who went toe-to-toe with Klitschko, with fucking all these bad boys, if Anthony Joshua takes this serious, as he should, this shouldn't even be a competition. And it's brilliant because for Jake, okay, cool, man. Got knocked out by one of the best to ever do it, or got finished by one of the best to do it. At least I got in there. And I'm not even a heavyweight. I'm a cruiserweight at best. Either I'm too light in the ass for that. I should be fighting down. He's shooting for the moon.
Sean Porter recognizes Jake Paul's courage, despite all the criticism he's faced. Many fans and analysts have slammed Jake for taking risky fights or stepping into the ring without traditional boxing credentials, warning that it could harm his career or reputation. Still, Porter highlights that it takes real bravery to face some of the world's best fighters, no matter what others think. He notes that Jake consistently shows he's willing to ignore public opinion and criticism to pursue his goals in the sport. Even when the odds are against him, he steps into the ring, determined to prove himself. While some focus only on the controversies, Porter gives Jake credit for his fearlessness, dedication, and mental strength, emphasizing that facing tough opponents is a quality worth recognizing.
The setting in of fighting a fighter like that would make you shit yourself and have a nervous breakdown in the locker room. So he's right in giving Jake credit for that. But then immediately after says, you know, what was that? You know, and he's right. So he's right about that. And, well, here's to support Paulie's claim about it all is we criticize fighters who made a lot less money, who have a lot more pedigree for excessive movement, stinking the place out, all that kind of stuff, right? I mean, think of how much Shakur got for the De Los Santos fight. Some of it deserved, like, you know, it is what it is. You're fighting for the title, and it's a big boys game, and you deserve the criticism and the praise that you get. So Paulie's point, it's like guys who have fought at a lot higher level for a lot less money have gotten a lot more criticism than for the effort Jake Paul put forth, where, yeah, he was moving a lot, but I mean, I'll get to the other deeper aspects of it all, but to give Jake Paul credit, he did wing some right hands with the intention of knocking Anthony Joshua out. And he did fight the fight that I said he would fight. I did not pick the fight last week, so for people trying to cook me, I didn't want really too much to do with this fight. But he did, you know, move excessively, you could say, but that was his only path to victory, was to just move against the bigger man and then wing the occasional shot and hope Joshua, who's been knocked out a few times, can't take that shot. But Joshua could take the shot. And to give each guy their due, Paulie summed it up perfectly. If you want to really hear Jake Paul get some credit, listen to my guy Max Kellerman, who talked about his big imagination and pulling things, not letting other people's limitations and ideas of you stop you and your dreams and all that. But to give Joshua his due, along with doing the...
That's a wrap for today's video. Stay tuned for more, and we'll see you in the next one.